everybody, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and it's time for another eBay SuperSize sales of $100 or more video recap. The sales in this video come from my Facebook group, where we have a dedicated thread every month where you can show off those $100 or more sales. This is your place to brag and shine and learn. Before we get into the video, I want to do a quick calendar check-in. On February 15th is a fun task. It says, push yourself to buy and list something you've never sold before. What was the item? And you want to fill that in. This is where I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone so that you can learn and grow. Because if you just keep doing the same thing you've always done, you're going to keep getting the same thing you always get. So this is a little bit of a challenge. Maybe you've got something in your death pile that you've been avoiding because you don't know how to ship it, or maybe you don't think you know enough about it, or maybe when you're out sourcing next time, you can choose something that you wouldn't normally choose just to challenge yourself. And make sure you fill in the blank so that in the future, when you look back through this calendar at what you've written in, you can see, oh yeah, this was the first time I listed that, and it was no big deal, and it sold for this much money, and now I sell that thing all the time. So I just wanted to point you to February 15th and make sure that you do the challenge. And I'm going to start doing some shout outs to listeners and my audience on social media because I really appreciate the emails you send and the comments about how the BOLO book and the calendar is helping you with your business. Christina sent this note about the BOLO book. Fantastic eBay resource. Format and layout are functional, fun to look at, and easy to use. I would highly recommend this book for anyone who is interested in reselling. And then if we jump over to my feedback page on eBay, you can see there are quite a few comments from sellers who purchased the BOLO book and the calendar. And I always reply to these comments because I really do appreciate your business, and I know you're a real person just like me, so this is a place where we can also interact in addition to on social media. So you could see that first comment, awesome book, awesome seller. That was from Sharon. Helen said, very happy with my purchase. Lisa said, great seller and mentor. Thank you very much, Lisa. Connie said, simply the best, smooth, easy transaction. Thanks so much. And then a different Connie said, thank you, the calendar is perfect. And then Carol said, great seller, thanks. So I really appreciate it when you take the time to leave me feedback. And I am just thrilled that the community is so happy with these educational materials because my goal is to help you learn so that we can all make more money. Okay, moving on to the SuperSize sales. And if your sale was not mentioned and it was $350 or more, or even just shy of $350, those sales are coming in the mega size sales video in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Okay, we're going to start with Mia. She said, I picked this up for free from a Facebook post. Listed it at $299 and took a best offer of $100 because it was not working. $100 for a broken clock. And it's actually our cover photo for this video. Starburst clock, vintage mid-century atomic brass ball spokes for parts or repair. So this is proof that broken things will sell. And don't pass up those free items because this sold for $100. Okay, moving on, we have Lisa Corcoran. She paid $9.99 at Goodwill for this sealed Tacoma-opoly board game. Listed this past November and it sold today, which was in January, for $100 plus shipping. Not all of these Opoly themed board games are winners, but this one seems to be pretty scarce. And the item is Late for the Sky Tacoma Opoly Real Estate Trading Game, new in package. $10, sold for $100. Laura Bullington Coble found this for $1 at my favorite charity yard sale. It took about 1 week to sell. I knew granny square blankets were a bolo, but had no idea ugly granny square sweaters were. So there it is, vintage handmade crochet sweater granny squares. $1 and sold for $100. Tammy Mitchell purchased on Facebook Marketplace for $10. Sold in 6 months for $100 plus shipping. Pioneer Woman Vintage Collection Ceramic Rolling Pin. $100. Okay, Kimberly McCoy Furman. Mushroom Pyrex mixing bowls belong to my mom. This past summer, when she was downsizing to a smaller home, I took these bowls to sell online and told her I would be selling them online. I remember her getting these as a Christmas gift from my grandparents, her in-laws, back in the late 70's. Her bowls were a bit different than the ones you see on eBay because hers had 4 bowls. Most sets only came as 3. And hers do not have the handles, meaning the Cinderella bowls where the handles are out to the side. They sold within a week of listing. I had them listed before, but we were moving and I unlisted them due to moving. I sent my mom the money and she was very happy to see something that she was planning on donating sell for so much. So this is a set of 4 vintage Pyrex Forest Fancies mushroom glass nesting bowls. Free to Kimberly, sold for $100. Amy Crane Decker, purchased for 10 cents at a church rummage sale. I had no idea it would be worth this much. Listed as a buy it now for $499 based on sold comps. Took an offer of $100 plus shipping after a week. And I agree, Amy, sometimes you just don't know how to price things, so go in high and see what you get. This is a vintage Oakland LA Raiders starter pro line shark tooth wool blend hat. 10 cents, sold for $100. Siobhan Sherrod Ramirez. I bought this shirt at Goodwill for $3.99. Mine was in good condition but faded a lot. I probably could have got more, but I wanted to sell it quick and make back what I spent sourcing that day. Got 2 offers within a few hours of listing. Waited until the next morning and sent out counter offers. Accepted immediately and paid for in minutes. Sold for $100. This is a vintage Disney Mickey Mouse Space Mountain t-shirt. Walt Disney World 90's. Cost her $4, sold for $100. Lynn Merritt, beautiful vintage completed needlework piece, free from the trunk of junk. Let me tell you about this trunk of junk. As some of you may know from my guest spot on Suzanne's podcast, I metal detect. I go to metal detecting competitions, and at one competition, they have tokens in the ground for a visit to a trunk which has junk in it. I found one of those tokens and I saw this really dirty piece. I took it. At home, I cleaned it up, saw how beautiful it was. Took about 2.5 years to sell. Free to me, and got $100 for it. This is a vintage crewel needlepoint fruit in basket framed and finished piece. free and sold for $100. Okay, Sabina Charles purchased this fragile tea set at Goodwill for $6, along with a small suitcase. I found it crammed into the huge rolling carts with absolutely no protection. I could hardly believe it was not even chipped. Since Goodwill no longer gives out bags, I carefully packed this fragile set inside the little suitcase to get it home. The suitcase sat sadly with the rest of a big death pile for about 2 months. We recently had a lot of snow here, so I stayed home and worked on that pile. Couldn't find a comp, so I did a successful auction starting at $99.99. I hope it gets to the buyer safe in my very cushioned, double bubble wrapped double box. Thanks, Suzanne, for the motivation to work on the death piles. And I think she's referring to the calendar where at least once a month there is a task to pull 5 items from your death pile and get them listed. So I'm glad that motivation helped you, Sabina. Anyway, this was $6 and sold for $106. Sean Carpenter purchased at a garage sale for $1. Took 1 month to sell. Vintage 1964 Soroka Eden Moppet Big Eye Girl prints. Very mid-century modern and very cool looking. $1 sold for $107.64. Jackie Basie. I paid $20 at Value Village and purchased a $5 charging cord from Amazon. Totally out of my wheelhouse, but I understand profit. It sold within a month. This is Muse, the brain sensing headband. It's a meditation device. So her total investment was $25, sold for $110. We have Mia again. Picked this up from an estate sale for $15 because everything else I wanted was gone. I have never sold a photo album before, but it looked interesting and historical. It sold the next day. This is a photo album from the 40s or 50s. Norwegian Women's Public Health Association, 100 photographs. And I wanted to include this sale because this is proof that you don't have to go on the first day of an estate sale. I call this the challenge of the leftovers. I stole that from Ashley, who lives here in Atlanta. And anyway, we had a joke going on about that. But really, it's true because Mia said everything else she wanted was gone. This was still there, so okay, $15, and she ended up selling it for $110. So it really is a mindset of how you go into these things. Are you going to go into it with the mindset of everyone's already been here, all the good stuff is gone, I'm not going to find anything? Or the mindset of, hey, let's look around and see what's here. Let's see what other people missed. And when you approach it that way, you're going to find stuff. Okay, moving on to Kathleen Gifford. In a sincere effort to start downsizing, I challenged myself to list at least 3 items daily of my own stuff, not stuff purchased in a thrift store. Here is one of my first listings from my personal challenge, and I'm happy to report it sold in less than 24 hours. I think I purchased these on eBay many years ago and have no idea what I paid. I can guarantee I would never pay this for martini glasses, so I know I made a profit. These are Spode Christmas tree martini glasses, set of 3 in the original box, sold for $115. So again, we have proof if you just get it listed, these things will sell, and sometimes surprisingly fast. Okay, we have Imilmari Faria paid 12 cents after winning other items online auction. Didn't check comps, but for the price, it was a no-brainer. Started the bidding on eBay at $99. Customer from France sent a $120 offer. I could have waited as I had 4 watchers, but her story was compelling, so I accepted. This brand of doll is very desirable. This is a Famosa Nancy doll with blinking blue eyes. Cost was 12 cents, sold for $120. Brandon Haney. Took my wife to the Goodwill bins for the first time, and she spotted this in the bins others had already scavenged through. So here we have again a leftover that people passed over. She is a 3rd grade teacher and immediately told me these kits are expensive new. I had no idea, and clearly no one else did either that day. Opened it up, and 3 of the 4 lessons were opened, but the kit was 100% complete. Goodwill treated it as a book, and they do 5 books for $1. So cost us 20 cents, sold in about 3 to 4 days after listing for $120 plus shipping. Love that she got to get a big hit on her first time to the bins and teach me something new too. This is a Hooked on Phonics Learn to Read complete set in the box. 20 cents, sold for $120. So I know I sound like a broken record. Well, for those of you that know what a record is, there's always stuff left over. Just you have to have the attitude of what am I going to find today? And this is another example of that. Next up is Rosanna Smoker. I saw this rather plain looking duvet at the thrift, but it felt really good and seemed to be high quality, so I looked up comps. I paid $2. It was on sale. I had it listed for a few weeks and took an offer of $120 plus shipping. The brand is Parachute. So there you can see Parachute cotton duvet cover, king size, California king, made in Italy. So a lot of characteristics that make it expensive. Made in Italy is one. And then she said it felt very high quality and it was a bigger size, the king, California king size. So $2, sold for $120. Jody Cooper. Bought this Higgins art glass bundled together for $5 at Goodwill, and it sold for $120. Mid-century modern 1957 to 66 Higgins signed fused glass 12-inch bowl and platter set. $5, sold for $120. Jane Brown. Finally, my first $100 sales post. Got at Goodwill 20 minutes before closing. I knew about this item from the group, snatched it up for $5.99. Had it listed for $150, took best offer. Sold in 2 weeks. Did not have a box and had a few chips. This is Department 56. Ouija, the mystifying oracle, Snow Village. I guess it's a ceramic figurine. $5.99 and sold for $120. Shannon Matson. This was free to me. A couple nearby was downsizing 3 years ago. Threw everything out of their attic, all 90s stuff. Grabbed 3 carloads of stuff over a few days. They spent a week throwing it all out, so I went twice a day for a week. The first time I arrived at the same time as a group of other people. First thing I grabbed were 3 large papier-mâché masks. The tiger one sold Christmas 2020 for $200. This is the second one. I still have a lizard one left, and I still have a few smaller items from that haul to list. I've probably made close to $3,000 from that haul, with a few $100 items in there. This is a vintage handmade papier-mâché bunny rabbit mask, folk art, Halloween masquerade. So basically free, and she sold it for $120. Sean Carpenter has another one. Purchase at a thrift store in a bag of plush. Paid about 30 cents. Sold in 3 hours. Tie Beanie Boo's Frost the Arctic Fox. Rare, Walgreens, hard to find. But remember, just because something is rare or hard to find does not mean that you will not find it. Seek and ye shall find. 30 cents, sold for $120. Jane Brown paid $4.99 at Goodwill, listed for $130, sold in less than a week on best offer of $120. Pokemon Center Original Plush Toy Sylveon 2017, $5, sold for $120. Brittany Setter Bear found this Aflac duck at a garage sale for 25 cents. He sold for $125. My special Aflac duck robotic plush animatronic toy. So apparently this moves or talks or does something other than just being a cute little duck. 25 cents, sold for $125. Samantha Bowers Drennan bought this diving helmet ice bucket a couple of weeks ago at Goodwill for $3. Listed it. It sold in 6 days for best offer of $125 plus shipping. Vintage Pentertone Livorno, Italy, diving helmet ice bucket from 1970. $3, sold for $125, and that's pretty unusual and really fun. That would make a great conversation piece. Okay, Diane Stumpf bought this fabulous singing moose head over a year ago. Unfortunately, when I tested it, it did not work. I put it on eBay for $40 with the disclosure that it was not working. Several months ago, I got to thinking about that moose and wondered if my test batteries were perhaps the problem. I pulled it out of inventory and got some fresh batteries and found out it works. I pulled down my listing, relisted it with an asking price of $189. I had interested buyers but no payers. Finally sold almost 30 days after Christmas for best offer of $125. It's going international. Lesson learned: don't use dead batteries to test with. Amanda Joy. This is the second lithograph by this artist I've sold recently. Paid $6.99 at a local thrift. It's an original Larry Dyke with a certificate of authenticity. It took 3 months to sell for full asking price of $120 plus shipping. Ironically, I was just about to hang it on my wall since it has been sitting in my office collecting dust. $7, sold for $120. Dawn McMaster paid around $5 at an estate sale as part of a larger lot of clothes. Sold for $120. And I love finding this brand. Johnny Was. This is a medium Wilton silk blouse. $5, sold for $120. Tammy Mitchell. Purchased on Facebook Marketplace for $25. Took 2 months to sell. Took best offer of $125 plus shipping. Vintage Empire Blow Mold Frankenstein Monster 36-inch. And isn't this interesting that it's sold in January? eBay knows no seasons. If you have it, list it. It doesn't have to be the season of that item, and this is proof of that. So $25 turned into $125 after Halloween. Brian Rappaport paid $20 at a garage sale the week before Christmas and sold for $129.99 in a few weeks. Phoenix Sun starter jacket, hoodie, full zip. $20, sold for $130. Okay, now we've got Lisa Barton. And a shout out to Lisa. She had a little trouble getting to the group, but you made it and you posted your sale. She said, "My name is Lisa. I went to the Goodwill bins a couple of weeks ago and noticed this on top, and I grabbed it up right away. Upon better inspection, it was just what I thought it was: Peruvian Connection 100% baby alpaca. I took it home, steamed it, photographed, and listed it right away. I listed it for $129.99 and took an offer 2 days later for $110 plus $11.75 shipping. My cost was $1.27. I was very pleased with the quick conversion and profit margin. Anything alpaca is always good, but baby alpaca is even better." And that is really a gorgeous item. So $1.27 and it sold for $110. Margie Shore de Molina paid $20 for this Steiff bunny as part of a large collection of Steiff and many vintage plush, toys, and other items at a garage sale. Sold for offer of $130 plus shipping in 2 weeks. I only need to sell one more item to break even, and I have so many more items listed from this sale and still to list. Vintage Steiff mohair bunny rabbit 14-inch. Paid $20, sold for $130. Pamela Steele Connor paid 99 cents at Goodwill, sold on 7-day auction. This is Glassy Baby Art Glass light purple votive candle holder. So this is a small little candle holder. 99 cents, sold for $130.50. Kim Smith paid $10.81 at Goodwill, listed in November, going to Canada. Carhartt work jacket, sold for $135. Her cost was $10.81. And it wouldn't be a $100 SuperSize sales video without George Kelly. He is always a repeat offender. He says, "I bought this Pendleton blanket at a moving sale last summer for $5. Accepted best offer of $135. Sold in less than 30 minutes. And George, as you mentioned on the podcast, you have a whole treasure trove of stuff in your basement, and I really do want to go shopping in your basement. This is a Pendleton wool camp blanket, Beaver State, 76 by 63 with a turtle pattern. $5, sold for $135. Okay, we have Greg Tarbert. Bought this last year at Marshall's for $15. I sold one for around $40 to $50 last winter, if I remember right. I stopped eBay for the summer and just put this other one up when I saw that a similar one sold for $139.99. Sold within a week. Not sure why the comps went up so high, seeing that they still make it, meaning it's not discontinued. Always look for Alginist brands at Marshall's clearance rack. So this is the brand Alginist Concentrated Reconstructing Serum. So it's a face thing. Sold for $139.99 and he paid $15. And George Kelly has another beautiful item. Bought this glass Murano bowl at an estate sale for $10. Accepted a best offer of $140. Listed less than a week. Vintage Murano Venetian glass bowl, red, yellow, with gold flakes. $10, sold for $140. Mallory Lindsley, another one of Dad's beer cans. I listed it for $177, but someone 5 miles away sent me an offer. This is a local brewery, The name was recently changed, so I wanted the can to stay in the area. This is Dixie 45 brand flat top beer can from the 1950s. This is part of her dad's beer can collection. I have a fun and interesting podcast coming up with Mallory on March 2nd. So she's going to tell us all about her beer can knowledge. Anyway, so this was free to her and it sold for $147.43. Kim Womack got at an estate sale in Fill-A-Bag, paid about 50 cents for the set. Originally posted as an auction with no bids, sold in 3 months. Coasters were dated before Texas A&M became a university. One was damaged, and that was disclosed in the listing. Priced high and sold for full price. 50 cents, and these coasters sold for $149.99. Mindy Smith Lewis, purchased for $1, sold for $149.99 in a 3-day auction. Listed Friday, sold on Sunday. JCPenney's 70's house dress. Look at that. I mean, that just screams 1970. A dollar, sold for $150 in 3 days. Lynn Merritt has another item. Paid $2 for this bracelet at a yard sale about a year and a half ago. Took a best offer of $150. Alexander McQueen, rare, hard to find purple maroon skull bracelet bangle. $2, sold for $150. Lauren Bushman Bochicchio. I hope I said that right. If not, correct me. Thrift store find for $3, sold in about a week. Grateful Dead Jerry Garcia woven tapestry throw blanket, 1990s, $150. For January, there have been quite a few macabre, spooky, gruesome kinds of items that you might only expect to sell in October, but apparently that's a thing all the time with the Ouija ceramic house, the bracelet with the skulls on it, the Frankenstein blow mold, and now this isn't really a Halloween item, but it's still Grateful Dead, so that's kind of on the spooky, macabre side of things. Anyway, that was just an observation I had for eBay knows no seasons. It's really true. Sharon Grenland. These were picked up at an estate sale this past summer, but I just listed in December. My cost was about $3. A pile of items for one price. Sold in 1 month with a 20% coupon code off a $50 purchase. Regular price was $199, sale price was $159. This is a Spode Christmas tree 3-piece set with the teapot, sugar, and creamer. So here we have a Christmas item selling in January. $159.20. Patty Titolo Lavieri bought this off Facebook Marketplace for $40, sold in about a month. This is a Ronco Showtime Junior Black Rotisserie Barbecue Oven. Set it and forget it. $40, sold for $175. Madeline Lee. I primarily sell women's clothing. These overalls stuck out from the rack like a sore thumb with all of the colorful embroidery. After looking them over, I realized that all of the embroidery had been done by hand. I thought they were too unique and cool to stay in the thrift store, so I bought them for about $4. I couldn't find any similar comps, so I listed them high for $250. They sat for a few months with some very low offers, but sold last week for a best offer of $178. They were bought by someone who owns a high-end vintage store in LA, so I'm not sure whether they will be kept or upsold, but either way, I'm happy to know they'll go to someone who loves them. This is a pair of vintage 90s women's small overalls, hand embroidered. $4, sold for $178. Okay, Bevan Dunn, listed for $198 for about 1.5 months. Sent an offer to a liker for $178 that was accepted. I have 4 of these trays from auction lots all over the summer, 4 lots with other kitchen and linens that I paid $50 each for. This sat in my wealth pile since summer because I didn't have the right boxes to ship it in. Boxes ended up being maybe $4 each, so lesson learned. I did give the trays some love with waxing, and they are all in good condition. I have one other listed a bit higher since it is the best one, and 2 still to photograph. Vintage Dansk large 26-inch solid teak round serving tray, and it sold for $178. Lisa K. Stevens, I bought this gorgeous sweater at Goodwill on November 4th for $3.99. It's made in Norway. The photo doesn't do it justice. It sold yesterday for best offer of $185. The brand is Oleana, Oleana, the Norwegian Story. Purple, blue, floral, 100% wool sweater. Paid $4, sold for $185. And that is really pretty and striking with the colors and the design. Okay, Amy Crane Decker, purchased at a yard sale for $2. Never opened. They were cleaning out and had many items like this. Wedding presents never opened. Sold for full asking price of $188 plus shipping within a few days of listing. Comps on sold items seemed a bit higher, but I was thrilled. So this is a Pyrex mixing bowl set. It's called Compatibles. $2, sold for $188. And this is a really pretty item. Dawn Feel, purchased in October for $12 at an estate sale along with 2 others of different colors. This was the last one to sell. Rare Lalique Crystal Dragonfly figurine. $199.99. Her cost was $12. Okay, Mark Sherrill with a Halloween item. Department 56 Halloween Snow Village. Lot 13 Crystal Lake. He says he paid $60 at an online estate auction, sold for $200 plus $20 shipping. And Mark, I'm wondering if this is part of that lot that you bought and had so many items they were all over your kitchen. I'm going to bet yes. Okay, Jennifer Koch, received in a ThredUp men's rescue box. Cost of goods was $5. The item is new with tag, the Weekend XO Puma Collab jacket. Retailed for $250, sold for $200 plus shipping within 2 days, and went global shipping program to Israel. This was the first time I utilized the coupon feature for eBay instead of accepting an offer, so it would be considered immediate payment if they were serious. Highest sale for me yet. Yay, congratulations, Jennifer. Okay, here's a fun one. Vani Villa, bought for $5.99 at a Christian thrift store. Had it stored because I thought it was fake. Recently took it out and looked at it again and saw the 1981 Hasbro copyright on the leg. It's flat-footed. I listed it and it sold for full asking price in a couple of days. I was looking for My Little Pony on her foot, but she is pre My Little Pony. The item is vintage 1981 Hasbro Romper Room My Pretty Pony Peachy. Sold for $200. Bonnie's cost was $6. Marla Marie Williams. I decided to thin out some of my jewelry. I set up an auction and was thrilled to watch the bidders hit my minimum goal of $200. The item is Navajo sterling silver turquoise cuff bracelet. So this was free to Marla and it sold for $213.50. Okay, Eileen Cole, aka the Book Lady. And look, it's not a book. She said, I picked up this stunning vintage dress and coat at a yard sale for $5. The person selling it had been involved with the costumes at the high school drama club. I listed it high at $450 and played with the price for several months. I happily accepted a $200 offer after about 6 months. Vintage 1950s Lily Ann swing dress with fur trim. $5 sold for $200. Okay, Kathleen Gifford. I purchased this Hallmark ornament in 2020. Each year Hallmark brings a golden girl to the ornament line. My thought was to get one each year and sell as a set, until I looked up the comps for Betty White. I couldn't believe what she was going for. Paid $19.99. Took a week to sell for $225. Barbara Freeman Buck. My son-in-law flips houses as a side job and acquires things left behind by the owner. On Christmas Eve, he brought 8 boxed Harry Potter wands with him, asking me to sell them, and we would do a 50-50 split in proceeds. I had to research each wand and its owner in the Harry Potter series and finally listed them the night of January 7th for $239.99, which came out to be $30 each without best offer. They sold for full asking price during the night to a lady in Canada. Now I'm praying they get to her without any restrictions on the items, as international sales can be tricky. Okay, Jennifer Elliott. I found this little dish about the size of my open hand at Goodwill for $2.99. It was interesting to me and marked Milano on the back, so I put it in my cart to look up. I got distracted and never did look it up and ended up having to make a quick decision at the register whether or not to purchase. I went ahead and did. What an exciting surprise when I got home and started researching. It sold in about 3 weeks for $280 plus shipping. This is a vintage 50s ashtray dish with a whole lot of Italian words that I'm not even going to attempt because we are near the end of this video and I won't be able to say that. So you can just look at the screen if you want to see all those words. Bottom line is this was $3, sold for $280. Okay, Joyce Newman Bodenhammer. Picked up this Leviton vintage double swag crystal light fixture at the bins. It was heavy, so probably paid around $25. Took 3 weeks to sell for full price plus shipping. Vintage Frederick Raymond Hollywood Regency Diamond Glass Double Swag Light. $285. Okay, Billy Lynn Wilson. This was a late December sale delivered in January. I found this at an estate sale in the bottom furthest corner of a master bath cabinet. I didn't know what it was, but put it in my pile anyway. Another shopper was so disappointed I had it in my pile and asked if I was going to buy it. She left with a heavy sigh and knew I must have something good. I purchased a lot of other items, like 3 boxes full, for $40. It had original purchase price of $2,500 attached, but used comps were around $300. Listed at $425, took best offer of $300. The buyer didn't pay timely, so eBay ended the sale. A frantic buyer contacted me, so I relisted it right away and she purchased it immediately. This is a Avalogy Eneo Advanced Skin Rejuvenation Anti-Aging Thermal LED Facial Machine. Wow, that is a super long title. Anyway, it's a thing for your face to help you look younger and get rid of wrinkles. That's what I'm going to call it. So it sold for $300 and Billy didn't really even know what it was. So those weird items can work out sometimes. Okay, and the last item in this video is from Cheryl Brewer. My biggest eBay sale to date. Congratulations, Cheryl! And I am thrilled to help you guys show off these sales, especially when they're your biggest sale to date. Anyway, Cheryl said, I got this vintage YSL necklace in a jewelry lot. It cost me less than $2. I listed it high at $475 and accepted an offer of $325 after about 3 weeks. Buyer paid shipping to Germany. So this is vintage Yves Saint Laurent chunky wood and green enamel beaded necklace. Sold for $325 and her cost was $2. Congratulations to everybody for their SuperSize sales, and it's time to end this video because my voice is going. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment below and have a profitable, productive, and fun day on eBay. See you next time. Bye.